China is, of course, a big worry for the Pentagon, but so are many of the other usual suspects. Here is Lucas Tomlinson tonight at the Pentagon.
The UN Security Council voted to crank up sanctions on the rogue communist regime. It's the first set of sanctions since North Korea's long-range missile test last month, which flew higher and longer than any in its history. Pyongyang responded in a statement Sunday. The vote was akin to war.
We define this sanctions resolution, rigged up by the United States and its followers, as an act of war, violating peace and stability.
Just one in a host of challenges facing the U.S. military around the world, as the Trump administration approves the shipment of anti-tank missiles to Ukraine capable of destroying Russian armor, a decision met with rare bipartisanship.
I support the administration's decision to provide these types of defensive weapons for the Ukrainians. It's a clear message to Russia that we will not allow them to continue to compromise the sovereignty of Ukraine.
In Yemen, the U.S. military has conducted more airstrikes in 2017 than the last 4 years combined against al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and ISIS. Recent U.S. intelligence estimates indicate the terror group has doubled in Yemen over the past year, the situation taking on more urgency at the State Department as the civil war rages on.
It's in the United States' interest to see this conflict in Yemen brought to a close. Al-Qaeda benefits, Daesh benefits, Iran benefits. Not good for the United States.
A former senior director at the National Security Council also warns of an old foe taking root in Syria.
A lot of folks, when they think about al-Qaeda, probably still think of its center of gravity as being on that Afghanistan-Pakistan border. But I would think of the center of gravity for al-Qaeda really having shifted to Syria at this point.
This comes as China conducted full-flight operations with its first aircraft carrier this past year. Beijing now boasts a fleet of warships similar in number to the U.S. Navy and will overtake the United States by 2030, according to experts.
I think China probably poses the greatest threat to our nation by about 2025.
The head of the U.S. Pacific Command has long complained about the shortage of attack submarines needed to collect intelligence on China and North Korea. But if Congress doesn't pass a budget next month, expect these shortages to continue. Doug?
Lucas Tomlinson at the Pentagon tonight. Thank you, Lucas.